However, over here, I'm not really doing anything with this, am I? I'm not really doing anything with my sol white. It's not depending... Whether or not I get into this true tab is not dependent upon sol white. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull sol white down here. I'm going to read it, and I'm going to combine it with yet another logical AND, so that these three things have to be true. And the wiring here gets ugly. So that's why I'm actually going to go ahead and turn these two blocks into a my block. And that my block I'm simply going to call AND. I actually already have a my block called AND from doing this earlier, so I'm going to add a redux to make it clear that this is the second time I've had to make this my block. I'm not going to bother with the names on this. I know what an AND my block does. So now the outputs from these three things are going to have to get passed to here, and all three of them are going to have to be correct in order for me to actually decrease my speed. Alright, so let me go back and check and make sure if I made any errors. I don't see any. I'm going to have to stop the video before I can guarantee that it's error-free, but I'm going to go ahead and show you me turning it into a my block. Don't know of a better way to select all of the necessary blocks than to just drag it over, which can be kind of slow. So now I'm going to click my block, and again I selected everything except for this math block, which was just a dummy block to hold a wire. If you'll notice this vertical cross section here, it's 1, 2, 3 wires, which is representative of the speed, the decay, and the duration. So I'm going to call this alignLine video 3, which should be the final one, but who knows, maybe I'll have another good idea. Click finish. In a moment. Pop up over here. And first order of business is, of course, to rename these things. Ugh. Okay, well, that's not the prettiest I've ever seen wiring, but that is, of course, speed. This is duration and decay. Now I can make a new program with alignLine video 3, and as you see we have decay, speed, duration. Unfortunately, because of how I constructed this my block, the order of these is all out of whack. Also, I'm pretty sure there is a way to set defaults for these values, but I'll look into that in another video after, I'm sure. Now, to take a look in contrast, here is my original function, my original program, which did the exact same thing. As you see here, it has the same variables being assigned, reading from a file to get the threshold, resetting the timer that is going to tell me how long I have to align. See, just different names on the variables, but they are the same. Of course, over here I had my light sensors reversed, which probably explains the errors I was having with this. The big difference over here is that I actually stored the left light sensor value in this variable instead of trying to drag wires out everywhere. I've learned to love and get along with wires to a certain point, but I still find it a little bit easier for my programmer sensibilities if I just put things in variables and then call them up when I need them. For example, this wiring is much, much neater than what you'll see and the equivalent part over here. Of course, that all goes over here. Minus B's times. Oh, no wonder. This block right here needs to be okay. So I did actually forget something in my original program. It works just fine, though. As you'll see, this value was set to 0.8. And of course, afterwards, I almost forgot something very, very important. That is to, of course, stop the motors. If you don't stop the motors, they will keep moving. So if your robot was moving forward at the time when it was aligning, it will keep moving and overshoot. Or if it was moving backwards, it'll back up away from the line, completely, getting rid of the fact that you just oriented your robot. So I'm going to add a move block and set it to brake. And that concludes this video. I'm going to follow up with a part 4, which should ideally show this in action.